Happy Monday, Sawadee ka, and welcome to Thailand News Update. In today's news, Thailand's most renowned virologist continues to suggest pregnant women, people over 60, and people with underlying diseases to get vaccinated as soon as possible. The World Happiness Index shows that Thailand, the land of smiles, ranks at a not so happy. But what might put smiles on people's faces is that SongKran in Thailand might not be so dry this year after all. All that and more coming up. A woman has stabbed a man to death in Samut, Prakan over the weekend, claiming the man chased her son with a wooden stick. She said she first tried to stop the man from hurting her son, but then he hit her with the stick. The woman's son, Prakan, told police he'd been drinking with the man and a group of their friends when the two got into a fight. Prakan said the fight began when he asked the man, Kitisak, for marijuana. The two ended up in a fight and Kitisak chased Prakan with a wooden stick. He chased Prakan to his mother's house where Prakan's mother, after trying to make Kitisak stop hitting her son, grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed Kitisak. The mother was initially charged with intentional murder. Bangkok police have detained both Prakan and the mother for further questioning. The incident happened at a camp for construction workers in the Bangkok district. Police found Kitisak lying dead in front of the camp with 6 stab wounds in the torso. In a Facebook post yesterday, Thailand's most renowned virologist, Dr. Yong Poovorawan, has compared remaining unvaccinated from COVID-19 to walking into speeding Bangkok traffic. He commented on how elderly Thais still have had reservations about being vaccinated, even though they are in a high-risk group. He said, quote, "It was like inviting an accident by stepping off the pavement into the busy traffic on Silom Road," end quote. He said that pregnant women, people over 60, and people with underlying diseases risk being hospitalized with severe symptoms if they contract COVID-19. Yong urged people to study the benefits and possible side effects of the various vaccine brands available. He said since vaccination is voluntary, people must decide for themselves which brand they intend to get. Last week, another Bangkok doctor warned that the country's healthcare system could collapse if COVID-19 is not properly handled. He noted that Thailand's economy is weaker than the economies of European countries and wouldn't hold up if COVID-19 got out of control.
You love the Thaiger. Now subscribe to our new YouTube lifestyle channel, Bounce.
Thailand's food, travel, challenges, and just about anything that isn't news. Only on Bounce. Link in the description below.
A SongKran with water may end up being a thing after all, but don't get too excited just yet. This moist bombshell was floating around the Thai media over the weekend, but you will need a face mask, a pre-event ATK test, and only at designated zones. The change of mind surprised everyone at Saturday's CCSA daily briefing. It looks like the Thai government have had a quick rethink of their earlier announcement of SongKran's policy for this year. Originally, it was going to be a dry SongKran with no water splashing allowed and only traditional events and activities to be conducted. But now it appears that they will allow some organizers permission to run special SongKran water splashing events, but you'll still need to wear a face mask and have an ATK test before being allowed into the zone. Alcohol will also be banned from the area. We'll follow the water trail and keep you up to date on this one at thethaiger.com. After the CCSA announced on Friday that Thailand will scrap requirements for pre-travel PCR tests for incoming travelers, the Foreign Affairs Ministry reminded wannabe international travelers that most of Thailand's land border crossing points remain closed to them at this point. The CCSA also says that only 4 land border posts are open to tourists and expats: Nong Khai, Udon Thani near the Laos border, SongKran, and Satun near Malaysia. Tourists entering Thailand through these posts must still apply for entry through Thailand Pass, which still requires pre-travel PCR tests. The Thailand Pass requires several documents, including vaccination status, proof of booking into a Thai hotel waiting for the result of the PCR arrival test, and $20,000 insurance requirement. The TAT says the approval process can take up to 7 days, although many receive approval much quicker. Thai immigration authorities are also reminding long-stay tourists and expats that holding a re-entry permit upon leaving Thailand does not cancel out the requirement to apply online for test and go before coming back. Returning expats have been refused boarding of their flight when they fail to show a test and go QR code. They said a valid re-entry permit protects an existing visa, but all entrants require prior Thailand pass permission irrespective of visa status. Plenty of unstable weather around Thailand for today and tomorrow. Thailand's northern and central regions and the eastern coast of the southern region may face very heavy rain as a direct consequence of a cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. The intense low-pressure system is moving north-northwest and is making its landfall in Myanmar today and tomorrow. The system is strengthening the southerly and southeasterly winds blowing over the northern, central, eastern, and southern regions of Thailand, resulting in more rain with isolated heavy rains in the northern and central regions and along the eastern coast of the southern region. The TMD is warning boats in the Gulf and off the Andaman coast to be aware of the storm and check the weather before heading offshore. On a list of 146 countries on the World Happiness Index, Thailand ranks at a not-so-happy 61. Finland was ranked the happiest country for the 5th time in a row, whilst Afghanistan was ranked least happy. The editor of World Happiness Report said that in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, all 3 acts labeled acts of kindness have increased, helping strangers, volunteering, and donations. The editor said that the acts of kindness have increased by almost 25% compared to pre-COVID times, though Thailand is somewhere in the middle on the World Happiness Index. It ranks in the 3rd place on the list of the 9 Southeast Asian countries. In Southeast Asia, Singapore is the happiest country and Myanmar is the least happy. Thailand has had some not-so-great rankings on other lists. On a scale of 0 to 100, with 0 being highly corrupt, Thailand scores 35. According to a rank on the Transparency International's Corruptions Perceptions Index, with 100 being a perfect score for a country with no corruption, the average score of all countries was 45. The CCSA has reported 23,441 new cases of COVID-19 with 88 new deaths. According to the latest reports, there are currently 248,339 in care and 23,153 released from care within the past 24 hours. And that wraps up the morning news for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the latest news in Thailand and the region. Also, click on the boxes here to watch other shows that we have lined up for you this week. I'm Natty from the Thaiger. Sawadee ka.